was right in Switzerland.
Thank you very much. Before our last discussion, let's look at this week's feature, which is about the respective merits of film and video. I don't suppose that many of you looking in can tell when you're watching a drama series which of the two it has been recorded on. However, it's a matter which much exercises many television producers on grounds both of cost and of picture quality. Felicity Grant has been listening to the arguments. But first, look at these two clips and see if you can say which was shot on film and which on video.
It's a tremendously exciting time for the dramatic art this century of ours, the most exciting in the whole history of the theatre. And of course, I like to think that in my own small way, I have contributed something to its stature.
She's still terribly shocked. I don't think she's shed a single tear yet. Her composure's almost inhuman.
Good God, look at these.
The Fitzhugh Corset Company, Sackville Street.
Two clips from dramas made for television. The first, Poppyland, was shot on film using a 16mm camera like this one. The second, an extract from My Brother Jonathan, was recorded on tape using the electronic camera, the workhorse of the television studio. Ironically, while the technical possibilities of the television studio have expanded enormously over the years, its use for the recording of prestige studio drama is on the decline. In the coming year, Channel 4's drama showcase, for example, Film on 4, will be shot entirely on film. And the BBC's drama output has shifted its emphasis over the last year from 20% shot on film to 50% film production now. So the art of writing and directing studio drama is, according to some people in the industry, now under serious threat. It's a cause for concern which prompted a special one-day seminar at the National Film Theatre recently, entitled provocatively, "The Studio Strikes Back."
I know from various people who are here, there are plenty of people who actually would say that probably the BBC and all the other corporations would do themselves a service by pulling down the studios. It's the, oh God, we can't get OB, we can't afford film, so we've got to do the bleeding thing in the studio syndrome.
Robin, there clearly is a move from studio drama to film, but does it really matter?
Yes, it matters very much because I think that studio drama is a potential art form. I think studio drama should aim to do beautiful, perfect things. It shouldn't be bread and butter television, which in the past I think often it has been. It is a form that is totally different to the stage play. In the good old days, studio drama was the stage play. It was a play put in front of cameras in a box set, line up the cameras and just shoot it. It's evolving and has evolved into something entirely on its own, something very important.
When I first entered television, which is only 1973, there was a tremendous pride, actually, in the studio video tradition. That's become, it's evaporated, really, because the prestige is seen to be in cinema by the directors and the writers, and by the accountants and producers. It seemed to be, film is the financial way in, but it seems to me that that's the wrong reason for becoming excited.
If you go back to the days of, for instance, armchair theatre, there you've got The Strand, a big event in the week, Play for Today, big event in the week. Go back to 1960, something like A Night Out, Pinter Play. 18 million people watched that, huge audiences, because this was something tremendously important.
If you want to go mucking about with girls, sorts of bits of girls, that's your business. If you're content to leave your own mother alone here till midnight, and it wasn't well anyway. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to upset you. I keep things from you. You're the only one I've got, but what do you care? You don't care, you don't care. Well, the least you can do is eat the dinner I cooked for you, specially for you. It's shepherd's pie.
But the studio play is not dying, it's dead. BBC are looking after the body temporarily, but not for long. They are committed to moving towards more films for television, but investigating whether or not some of them can have a theatrical release, and of course making them to feature film length just in case. Studio-based drama is an awful lot cheaper than doing drama on film. It comes in at about a third of the cost, and sometimes about a tenth of the cost. So for every large, flashy 90-minute film that you make for television, you could make at least 3 and possibly be up to around 6 good studio plays.
The problem is that it lacks saleability. The film, you can get big co-production monies from elsewhere, you can sell them because everybody wants on television throughout the world to say, and now a film, and so on. So at the moment, the studio play is the poor relation. It's very difficult to get the money in advance to mount the thing at the scale that sometimes they need to be. It hasn't, therefore, the cachet. And I think that the danger of that is that if it's seen as the small relation, it will shrink even more.
The studio production of Rock Follies was very, very successful. How do you think using the studio shaped that? What would it look like on film, for example?
Well, I think we made an early decision, even before I sat down to write it, that it would be a studio production. And I think if that same subject had been written for film, unconsciously, I would have taken more atmosphere from the real world. It would have been more, perhaps, a documentary. Knowing it was a studio production, it was unashamedly a stylized and not a realistic portrayal of that world. And I think everything kind of came to fruition in the Looney Tunes episode of the second series. It was an episode in which 2 out of the 3 women in the group were feeling paranoid because they felt they were going to be given the elbow. And an anonymous technician somewhere in the building called the vision mixer and said, "Why don't you press that button?" He did. And on screen, Julie Covington and Derek Thompson disappeared. All that was left of them were bits that looked like Connect Me dot drawings. Just at the moment when they were most guilt-ridden and wanted to disappear, they did disappear on screen. And the reason I think it's such a powerful effect is that it completely reinforces everything that's in the script. It's not just electronic gimmickry, but it's absolutely right.
Those catchy, crazy Looney Tunes, they really drive you insane.
Susi Hush has produced several low-cost dramas for Channel 4. She found the combination of financial constraint and modern studio technology a creative opportunity.
One which had technical problems, which we had to solve, was a play called Tropical Moon over Dorking, which was about a writer who wrote Mills and Boon type romances at the word processor and actually saw her characters. Now, we wanted to see those characters on her screen. So we had to rig up a kind of computer. We could have done it in post-production, which is how films would have done it, but we wanted the immediacy of it. So we split the studio in half. We built a desert island in one corner, we built a set for a home in the other, and we fed the electronic link through, so the actors actually had to talk to camera, and we could see them on the sets interacting with the novelist as they appeared in her imagination.
Camilla, what are you doing there? I left you on your way to the airport.
Well, the taxi broke down. Hardly surprising, really. Hadn't had a service for years.
Well, you could have hitched a lift.
I did. But there was only one car on the road, and it happened to be coming back to the hotel.
Oh, how convenient.
Well, there's no reason for me to leave now, is there? Daphne's told me the truth.
No, she hasn't. I've erased that scene.
Well, it's still in the random access memory.
Well, it shouldn't be. And you shouldn't be in Rex's chalet. You're not that sort of girl.
Any girl's that sort of girl. She's with the right man.
Rex isn't the right man. He's married.
Oh, come on, Mari. He hasn't lived with his wife for 10 years.
Look, if you just get out of there, I'll give you a happy ending. You can marry the choreographer.
Oh, I don't want to marry the choreographer. He's gay.
I never established that.
Nowadays, tape can do virtually everything that film can do. Lightweight OB cameras can now capture almost everything that a film camera can do. It hasn't quite got the sophistication yet of lenses, but it's very nearly there. Post-production in television is now becoming so exciting and creative and sophisticated that it can undoubtedly do things that film can't do.
I don't know how many people are conscious of the difference between video and film, but I think they are subconsciously aware of it, and I believe that when it's used at its best, an audience is charged up. But I think that's a general truth about drama. When drama is exhilarating, then there's an energy charge in a living room. When it's tepid, people say, that's quite nice, and they go on being unchallenged, unstimulated, unexcited. I think television, whether it's celluloid or video, should be raising people's temperature, and I think video has a better chance of doing it because it is a naturally televisual medium.